It's that time of the year again, and bottom line, you need to have a plan to be prepared for any disaster, such as a hurricane. And as you travel around this community and see these signs, it should serve as a staunch reminder about the critical role that transportation should play in your plans. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then this picture says 1,000 times over that transportation plays a critical role in the event of a declared disaster. There were lessons to be learned from Hurricane Katrina. According to one study by students of Loyola University in New Orleans, about 350,000 residents did not evacuate New Orleans in 2005. Nearly 127,000 of those did not have the means to evacuate on their own. This has highlighted the role that transportation must play in local emergency plans. Since 2002, HART's plans include operating 10 special evacuation routes for people who need transportation to shelters.
Transportation is obviously a pressing need for folks who need to get out, but for those who don't have their own means of transportation, we actually have emergency evacuation or hurricane evacuation bus routes run by HART. They're designed to get people out of our low-lying hurricane evacuation areas, which are subject to storm surge, and get them to a safe shelter. Everything is coordinated by Hillsborough County here in the Emergency Operations Center, and we have multiple agencies and departments from within the county and elsewhere that support us. One of those is the school district of Hillsborough County, and one of their roles is to provide transportation assets. So we have access to the school board's transportation resources, namely the school buses, in addition to HART buses as well as the county's own Sunshine Line buses for disabled residents. In addition to the evacuation bus routes, which are run on an as-needed basis and pick people up from the bus stops and take them to the shelters, we also have a registration process in place for citizens who have special needs or have transportation, restrictions, especially those folks who have special medical needs. Maybe they're oxygen dependent or their equipment requires electricity to keep them healthy. Those folks can pre-register with the health department by calling 272-6900. And they can register through our special needs database, and we will come and get them and make sure they are taken to a shelter where their medical needs can be accommodated.
For residents who find themselves without safe transportation to a shelter, this is how HART evacuation bus services work. There are 10 evacuation bus routes, which are designated with a letter from A to J. Each route will transport passengers to one of 4 open Red Cross shelters. In the event of a storm, evacuation bus routes will begin operating after the Hillsborough County Emergency Operations Center instructs HART to do so, and the Red Cross shelters have been opened. For the safety of our bus operators, evacuation buses will operate during daylight hours only. Service will be suspended under the advisement of the Emergency Operations Center or if windy conditions become too dangerous. And remember these signs. When emergency evacuation bus routes are in operation, any resident may board at one of these stops. Or residents may stand at a corner anywhere along the route and as the bus approaches, wave it down. In addition, residents may ask the driver to stop at any time along the route to evacuate to a destination other than the designated Red Cross shelter. On board the bus, passengers may carry 1 suitcase per person with items they may need at a public shelter. When you exit the bus at the shelter, remember the route letter of the bus you were riding. You'll need it because after the storm is past and the Hillsborough County Emergency Operations Center has determined that it is safe for you to return home, buses will depart from shelters to return you to your original pickup point. All this information is available online at www.gohart.org or at our transit centers in English and in Espanol.
Our challenge is to get the Hispanic community to be prepared. It helps them. It saves our first responders from going out to do things that should have been done already, saving people who should have been saved with the warnings. A lot of the people in the community, Hispanic community, live in several parts of the county live in mobile homes and trailers, and those have to be evacuated no matter what, no matter what stage the tropical storm is. They need to go. They need to have a plan. Luckily, HART is providing evacuation routes for folks to catch a bus if they can't get there another way. That's a big change from the past.
We're here to move you to higher ground and to safety during a hurricane, and with a fleet of almost 200 buses, they have to move to higher ground too.
Yes, we have a hurricane plan that includes the securement of our facilities, provides emergency transportation to shelters, and also protects the vehicles to ensure that we have the capability of restoring service. And we have a recovery as part of that plan where we come in, assess the damage, determine any repairs that need to be effective, and start responding to applying service as the situation requires.
Emergency evacuation bus routes should be considered only as a last resort. HART and the Hillsborough County Emergency Operations Center urge you to make arrangements now for the safety of your family should a storm force you from your home.